Okay, what's up, guys? Back with another video, and today I'm going to be ranking the best grapplers in each UFC division. Flyweight through heavyweight, only men's. So yeah, this is pretty good video. I'm excited about this, and yeah, everyone should agree with my picks because it's 100% correct. Starting off with flyweight, we got Alexandre Pantoja. Former flyweight champ. Yes, this guy is a very, very high level grappler. He's proved it in his title reign. I mean, as soon as he's done, he out grappled and submitted Kai Kara of France. He out grappled Brandon Moreno, and this was prime Brandon Moreno before he started going off his downfall. He completely mauled Brandon Royval, who's a very tough opponent, and that was aging well. He took out one of the biggest prospects so you ever seen, Kaya Sakura, submitted him, put him to sleep. It's just very, very high level, impressive wins. He deserves a lot more credit. He's always been underrated. Flyweight doesn't have too much top-notch grapplers, but they are getting more competitive, which is good to see. Because flyweight division's been in a little bit of a like no one's really been. Flyweight went on a downfall when around 2020, but they're coming back. Flyweight is getting more exciting, which is really good. So yes, Pantoja does not have the belt anymore, but I think it is safe to say he probably is the best grappler in the division right now. It's pretty close, but I would go with him. Okay, now moving on to bantamweight. Umar Nurmagomedov. This one's a little bit of a toss-up because there are lots of very high-level grapplers in bantamweight. But if you look at overall, all different styles of grappling combined together, Umar is definitely, I would say, is the most elite. I would say his toughest matchup was against Merab Dvalishvili. It was a very, very close fight. I thought Umar did just a little bit more than him to get the dub, but they gave Merab to win, so it's fine. It was really close, though. It was a very, very high-level grappling in that fight. And Umar's just super well-rounded. Umar, he trains with Khabib's cousin. So those genes he's got inside of him. All the potential that Umar has, it's insane. People have said he even has more potential than Islam and Khabib, which is crazy. Umar has shown lots of potential. He out-grappled Mario Batista. That's not an easy task. Mario Batista's a very high-level grappler. And like I said, I thought he out-grappled Merab Dvalishvili, who's one of the best grapplers in UFC history. So, all this very high-level, very, very impressive. And yeah, for that, Umar definitely is, in my opinion, the best grappler in bantamweight. Okay, moving on to featherweight. Movsar Evloev. That might make people mad, but yes, he is the highest level grappler. I will say there's not a ton of competition in featherweight. Most people are strikers in that division. I do want to say something too. This is only for ranked fighters. I don't think I would have had an unranked fighter anyway, but this is for ranked fighters only. Movsar Evloev's coming off that win over Lerone Murphy a couple weeks ago. Very good win. Of a lot of controversy with the fight, but I thought Movsar won and got the job done. He out-grappled Lerone Murphy as well. Lerone Murphy is a high-level grappler. He was undefeated as well. And his most notable win in the grappling contest, he out-grappled Aljamain Sterling, former bantamweight champion. You know how high-level his grappling is. It was a very, very competitive fight. But, I thought Alja won, but they gave it to Movsar either way. If you're talking about MMA grappling, because this is what this video is on, I think Movsar is probably the better MMA grappler than Aljamain Sterling. He also out-grappled Diego Lopez. It was Diego Lopez's debut, but still, that's a factor to put in. Movsar Evloev is very, very high level, very, very underrated. He's undefeated and obviously deserves the next title shot. And he, in my opinion, is the best grappler in the UFC featherweight division. Okay, moving on to lightweight. Arman Tsarukyan. This one's got some competition. Lightweight's very, very stacked right now. But right now, I think it's Arman Tsarukyan. This man has been fighting and grappling everywhere. Once every 2 weeks, this man has a wrestling match or some kind of grappling match going on. He's always grappling. He's super, super active in that department. And yeah, people get to see how high level his grappling really is. This guy is super, super talented, guys. He if you compare the other people, Charles Oliveira, a lot of people will say Charles Oliveira is the best MMA grappler in lightweight, but Arman fought Charles Oliveira and he beat Charles Oliveira, and it was mostly due to the grappling. It was very, very close because Charles Oliveira is obviously one of the greatest UFC grapplers of all time. Arman got the job done, and Arman outgrappled Charles Oliveira. Very, very. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but Arman is the better grappler than Charles Oliveira. I mean, you've seen how active he is. He's insane. And I would say from what we've seen, he's probably the better grappler than Ilia Topuria as well. Ilia, obviously, this one, I think, in my opinion, there'd be more controversy of Ilia because we haven't seen Ilia's grappling tested that much. I mean, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he never really competed back then when he was training. But in the slight exchange that Ilia and Charles did have, Ilia won the grapple exchange. So that is something to make notice of. But we didn't get to see a lot of it. But I personally believe Arman would win. I think it'd be really competitive. Like, if we're talking about grappling match, Arman versus Ilia, that is kind of irrelevant because we're talking about MMA grappling. So in the octagon, I think Arman would outgrapple Ilia Topuria. It'd be really competitive, but I think Arman's got the grappling advantage there. Okay, moving on to welterweight. This one's not too much of a surprise. Islam Makhachev, obviously, best grappler in the welterweight division. Not much to say here. I mean, he was a world-class Sambo fighter, one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, this guy was a national wrestling champ, I think, in Russia. This guy is just extremely talented in the wrestling department. He beat Arman Tsarukyan himself. He submitted Dustin Poirier. He submitted Renato Moicano. He outgrappled Alexander Volkanovski. He outgrappled Jack Della Maddalena, just completely destroyed him. Now, these guys mostly aren't wrestlers, but very, very talented, of course. And yeah, this guy is probably the most well-rounded fighter in the entire UFC. We've seen how talented his grappling is. He's probably at Khabib level grappling because, those guys, Khabib obviously is his head coach. And we've seen how dominant this guy is in the cage. It's just really, really impressive. Not much to say. I think most people would agree with this one. Going on to middleweight, another one that's not shocking at all. Khamzat Chimaev, best grappler in middleweight. He's also the best grappler in the UFC, MMA grappler in the UFC for me. Khamzat Chimaev, not much to say again. Completely ragdolled Dracus du Plessis, who's a great wrestler. Submitted Robert Whittaker in the first round. He's got lots of MMA wrestling experience. Out-grappled Kamaru Usman. That is a huge thing right there. Yeah, we know Kamaru Usman was past his prime, but Usman was not bad. He's still very, very high level and just completely mauled him. 10-8 him in the first round due to the grappling. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, he had like 4 minutes, 50 seconds of control time in that first round. And we've just seen how dominant he is. Submitted Kevin Holland in round 1, who's a black belt in BJJ. This is very high level. I would say he's the highest level, probably the greatest MMA grappler of all time, in my opinion. Just don't think anyone could stop him. So, moving on to light heavyweight. This one's a little controversial, probably the most controversial. Carlos Ulberg. Now, people are wondering, Carlos Ulberg is a striker. Why did I choose him? Because if you look at the entire featherweight division, there's barely anyone who grapples. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 people in the top 15 of light heavyweight who are like their main fight style is grappling. And that is, I think, like Jan Blachowicz, who's like 40-something now, and Bojan Gusev. And I don't think either of those guys are a better grappler than Carlos Ulberg. Because Carlos Ulberg is very well-rounded. Because Ulberg fought Jan Blachowicz, and there wasn't a ton of action in the grappling, but there was a lot of clinch work, and Carlos Ulberg won the clinch fight. So I would say slide it to him. And Bojan Gusev just isn't really at that level. Plus, I'm pretty sure Jan Blachowicz already beat him, or they're about to fight again. So for that, I am choosing Carlos Ulberg. There's not really any other candidates. I mean, Yuri Prochazka doesn't have that much grappling either. So, I mean, I'm choosing Carlos Ulberg for this one, but light heavyweight is very poor in the grappling department because the striker should not be, I agree, the striker should not be the highest level grappler in division. But that is how it is. Moving on to heavyweight, last division. A lot of people might be surprised by this one. Walter Walker. He just made himself in the rankings. He's the number 15 guy out of 15. This guy is on a 4-fight win streak, all by first round submission. His grappling is extremely impressive. He's obviously a black belt BJJ. He's famous for the heel hook and toe hold. He's got tons of toe hold. I think he had 2 toe hold submissions in a row. He's got tons of heel hooks, all in the first round. And you don't see guys like this strong in the grappling department in heavyweight. There are some opponents that could be given a try. I mean, Tom Aspinall is definitely a high-level grappler. Alexander Volkov's a pretty good grappler. Cyril Gane's even improving his grappling. Curtis Blades is obviously a really good wrestler. So yeah, he's got some competition. Sergey Pavlovich can wrestle a little bit. But I just don't think there's anyone on the level of Walter Walker right now in grappling. Hopefully the guys watch this video know who Walter Walker is, or else you're a big casual. You got to pay attention. This guy's already a ranked fighter now. He's making his way, making a statement. Very, very talented. And I think it's probably not even that close from what we see. Walter Walker is the best heavyweight MMA grappler at the moment. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me comment. Make sure y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Who do you have as the best grappler in each division? Make sure y'all like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys.